All right, shalom, shalom, Yasharallah, shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. It's an honor to be back here again to serve and to feed the lambs of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So before we go any further within this lesson, I want to open up by giving all praises, honor, and glory with infinite blessings unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. And I also want to give double honors to our beloved elder bishops and to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that teach well and that rule well, with much blessings and salutations always going out to the hopeful elect, to the Akim, Wafi Akwaf that are tuning in, and always to the prophets, sincerely and truthfully labored within the truth scattered across the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham, unto you and into your households, man, in these evil days, these evil times in which we are surely living in. Okay. And I just wanted to speak on this really quick because it's been on my spirit, lately, man. As brothers and a few sisters, those of the household of faith, man, as we're dealing with these trials, these tests, our everyday afflictions and things of such. These are things that it comes with the territory of calling upon Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. And ultimately, having that faith in the names of Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. Because scripture does tell us this. All right. So like, you bear with me for a second. So here it is. Isaiah 59 and verse 15. Yea, truth faileth. All right. And he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. Okay. So, trying to be true and sincere in a place of wickedness and evil, okay, a false, deceit, in which this is how Esau Edom has brought and ran, okay, up Babylon the Great, aka America, in order to be successful, to be something or someone, all right, within Babylon the Great. You literally, all right, have to pick up the spirit of this devil, man. Okay, you have to be just like him. You have to be wicked, evil, scheme, very fraudulent, because this is how this devil has set this system up. And this is how he is able to, be above the rest of the people. All right, by his lies, his tricks, his deceits, it's the sorcery in which he pushes out upon the whole world. All right, the people, especially the people in Babylon the Great. All right, it's called wiles, man. It's called tricks. It's called tricks for a reason. All right, because it's deceit, But truth, all right, being sincere, being genuine, all right, being true is frowned upon in America, bro. All right, it's really preyed upon, and we know and we feel it through our walk. All right, because of the mercy, the spirit that is upon you. These people think they can play with you, bro. They don't respect you. They speak down on you. They smile in your face, but once you leave those rooms, your name is still in that room. Okay, and it's not good things that's being spoken, in which honestly it's a balance. All right, but majority of the time, being amongst these people, either be friends, all right, families, okay, or associates, or etc. Anything out of this body, any and everything out of the body of Yahweh Shema Shai is totally against you, man. All right. And this is why it says, yea, truth faileth. Because these people in the world would rather delight and to live in the moment of lies, man. Okay. Even though, our forefather Moses knew what was up, man. Okay, because he was prudent. He was a prudent man. It says it right here. Choosing, rather to suffer, in which this is the same thing that we're doing. Okay, the brothers, all right, and you few sisters, man, being in the lots that we are in, this is what we chose. All right, we chose the right thing. We chose life. We chose Yahweh Shai. And for that, okay, this is what comes with it, being in this wicked world. So Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 24, it says, by faith, all right, and that's the whole point. By faith, because you have faith, all right? None of these things would, be happening to you or if you was calling on JC, all right, you wouldn't be catching, mass affliction as much, if you was of this world, okay? Because this world loves its own. The people of this world and the things that belong to this world, okay, it loves its own. It can recognize itself. So the reason why you get, you go through, humbling moments, embarrassing moments, things of sort to where, you're constantly being ridiculed or overlooked or underlooked, disrespected, all right, maybe due to your appearance or physical appearance, because these people are carnal. You brothers, and sisters definitely got to understand, like, a spiritual man judges all things, but the thing is, these people, they judge off of appearance, man. And it's only because they don't have that faith. What scripture says, we walk by faith and not by sight. So we have the upper advantage, due to Yahweh Shema Shai giving that to us, something that we even ourselves, couldn't have purchased, but given as a gift, which is that faith from the womb. So a lot of the times, man, when we going through certain trials, tribulations, either that be with people, it's going to seem as if, you got hold, or you pussy or something, but which we don't, we know who we are, bro. We stepping in the, names like Yahweh Shema Shai, for the throne. So it's different. But the whole point is, man, shit, we have something that these people don't have. Okay, this is a more sure, word of prophecy, bro. So we know our end if we continue to endure these sufferings, which is beneficial ultimately for us to get, everything, at the end. So Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 24, it says, by faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. All right. So Moses, our forefather of you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, all right, he refused that high stature, okay, or that seat of power to be called, a prince of Pharaoh, to be next in line for, to rule over that great empire, because Egypt was a very great empire. All right. Just like Babylon the Great, aka America, they're very similar. All right. Egypt was up and thriving. Okay. It Had everything, you know, military. It had slaves, which were the Israelites, in which you can read about it in, you know, the earlier books. Okay, and how prosperous Egypt was, and being that, you know, the Egyptians had a total empire, man. You know, the same way that America has. This is why Babylon the Great, aka America, is, you know, spiritually known as, you know, Egypt, known for its greatness, all right, within those times. But America has spiritually embodied, okay, that you know, Egypt back then, that ancient empire of Egypt, all right, by the way of its philosophies. Okay, it's a way of living in which a lot of customs go back to Egypt, Rome, Greek, you know, Greece, and etc. You know, but the point is, all right, Moses, he refused, okay, that position because he already knew that there was something better off awaiting for him. All right, so verse 25, it says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season, because that's the thing. We already know, all right, what you know, sin brings. It brings death. Okay, in which, you know, us, you know, taking the same steps as, you know, our forefather Moses, we already know, man, through the prudence, through the wisdom of Yahweh Shema Shai, that, you know, the end to these people in this place, okay, it's gonna be bad. All right, it's either gonna be thermonuclear destruction, all right, teeth of wild beast, pestilence, all right, the sword, okay, or, you know, however the Most High Yahweh, through his only begotten Son Yahweh Shai, okay, seems fit to deal with, you know, the rest of these people, in which the Lord told us to never, you know, Salakia, the Lord told us to don't even worry about how they're gonna perish, you know, in Ezra. Okay, just know that he's gonna take care of them. All right, our whole point is to keep on pushing and keep on moving. All right, verse 28 says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, all right, greater riches than the treasure in Egypt, because these things are temporal. All right, in which we see many of our people, hundreds of thousands to even millions of jakes that sell out every day, that's sold out, and we seen the latter end of them. Okay, either, you know, they got in bed with the devil, Esau Edom, so-called white man, and Esau Edom always, you know, did them dirty at the end, because this is the devil. And in order to receive, you know, fame, glory, okay, you know, to be moved out of that seat of poverty and, you know, to be in that limelight, so to say, you have to sell out to this devil, man. You have to sell out to Esau Edom, all right, because he has the current dominion of the world. And which what he's currently doing with it right now is he's transitioning his kingdom in order to fortify and to set up an everlasting kingdom, which we understand, like, bro, in which, you know, this is, you know, it's basic, you know, knowledge, basic wisdom that, you know, carnal things, you know, none of that, it don't last forever. None of that shit lasts forever, bro. All right, and so, thus, all right, knowing that, bro, this shit's gonna end. It's over for this devil. Okay, the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, already has him in the trick bag, and all those that tie themselves, you know, to this man's, you know, dominion, okay, in this NWO, okay, it's over. Okay, but it says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasure in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. Exactly, he had respect, reverence. Okay, just like us, you know, in which it came by faith. And bro, that's the whole point, bro, faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the fundamental of it. to be able to have faith, to know, or to believe, really more so to believe and to hope, all right, that there is a better reward at the end of our lives that we live, man. You know, to know that the things that we're doing is not in vain. The sufferings we're taking, you know, the things that we're going through, in which is all to better us for Yahweh Bashim Shai's return. All right, to ultimately be glorified with him when he comes back, bro. In which people, they don't know that. They can't suffer these certain things. What's up, bro?
What's up, Jay?
Yes, sir. They can't suffer, you know, these certain things. They can't go through these things, man, because ultimately the Lord hasn't gifted them, all right, with that gift that we have, which is faith. You know, to be able to, you know, have the discipline to hold ourselves back in order to receive those rewards. All right, which these are long term. These rewards that we're about to get, bro, it's gonna last forever in the kingdom. Our legacy is being written, but you know, it's going to be established. Okay, the glory that's about to come from the things that we're doing, you know, it's as little as letting somebody, you know, have the argument, okay, or, you know, so-called being the bigger person, in which in Babylon the Great, you know, being the bigger person is always looked down upon, bro. You know, being meek and humble, okay, in America, a country full of pride and deceit. Like, come on, bro. And not to mention, let's get this, finish this off, Isaiah 59:15. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil making himself a prey. All right, and that's exactly what he did. All right. You know, our forefather Moses did, bro. And the rest of the prophets. Okay, and the rest of the holy men. And okay, that were laboring. They departed from these things, man. They departed from the evils. Okay, and became a prey to the world. Because this world is against the Most High, man. All right, it's against the Lord in his ways. All right, it says, and the Lord Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. Yeah, meaning there was no judgment in the land. Because Esau Edom, the way he's ruling shit, this nigga got everything out of whack, bro. Creating new laws, okay, unrighteous laws, decrees, things of that such, okay, slandering, you know, his own, you know, his brothers, you know, just being a fucking devil, bro, just being the wicked as the Bible speaks. But, you know, he's doing a perfect job because this is what he was created to do, you know. So truth be told, we're just waiting on Yahweh Shah's return, which is righteous, you know, Malak Tazadak. All right, so when he makes his return, he's going to establish the righteous kingdom, man. All right. But everything else, you know, until then, you know, we have to suffer these things, bro. Because it's all a part of the journey, you know, and to the kingdom. All right. So let's grab this. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, and verse 10. It said, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Okay. Meaning a spiritual departure, you know, getting your mind, you know, your soul, your conscience out of this place. Not having hopes of, you know, building wealth, fortune, families, you know, having longevity within Babylon the Great due to comfortability or hopes of that this place may prosper. Because that is insane. You got to be a crazy person if you truly believe that this place is going to prosper or have any type of bounce back or get any type of better, when the Most High Yahweh literally said, man, when Esau Edom builds, he will throw down. Okay, and that he has set his face against Mount Seir. All right, the Lord is against this place. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is against Esau Edom. Okay, the wicked ones in Babylon the Great, bro. Okay, Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, it tells you all about it. So, seeing that the Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, the God of the Bible, if you didn't know that, okay, Yahweh meaning he exists in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father. The one you people ignorantly calls God, and then the only begotten Son, which is Yahweh Shai. All right, the one you people ignorantly call JC. Okay, they're planning on destroying this place, in which things are already in plan, or Salakia already in play in full effect, which are these prophecies, bro. And this is why come on, bro. The God of the Bible, bro, like the God of everything, the creator of all things, saying he's gonna take this place out. So what sense would it make you, all right, especially being a child of the Lord, an Israelite, okay, spiritually, all right, and physically, okay, to why would you want to build in a place where the Lord said he's going to destroy? That just goes to show you you're going against what the Heavenly Father, the Creator, the one, has done, and that's called rebellion. All right, a rebellious spirit, which we know our people have upon them, but that's majority of our people in this place, man. Rebellion leads to destruction, because it's a form of witchcraft. So Micah 2:10, it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted." All right, this world is polluted with evil, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, woman, and child. These niggas is everywhere. Their philosophies is everywhere, which is philosophy of death, doom and destruction. But even within that, it's the food, it's the people, the mindset, it's all of it, bro. All this whole system is adverse. It's literally adverse. The only thing seemed fit in this place to receive some mercy, from the Most High, is the Lord's elect. Okay, the Most High is elect, bro. Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai is elect. Okay, anything else in America and around the world that can subscribes, okay, that is allied with Babylon the Great, will be destroyed, bro. Simple as that. And this is why we need to get the fuck up, in which we already done, and now we just waiting on that physical departure by the way of the Lord's chariots, man. Great deliverance. It says it shall be, Salakia, it says because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sure destruction. All right, meaning this place would spiritually, okay, and physically, get you up out of here, because this system is overly, all right, against the Israelite man, woman, and child, but more so the Israelite man. All right, it's against the Israelites in general. All right, they got to make that plain, but that's the whole point. The woman, the children, okay, this job, people you don't even know, random people you don't even know, they're against you, man. People you haven't even seen, people across the fucking world, motherfucking in Asia, China, against you, man, due to this damn devil slandering us, okay, and painting a narrative of the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Like, in which, don't get me wrong, 2/3, are off the chain, and definitely they do need to be, they need to come back and their pure mind. But other than that, this is us lumped into a whole due to us being Israelites, man. And this is how the world see us, because of the accuser of our brethren. But this is something we must deal with until the Lord brings his glory and his fame upon Jake and every land that we were put to shame. Shit. And it's starting with your households too, bro. Glory, fame. Salakia. So this is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 19. It says, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee. Yeah, man. And who afflicts us? All these nations, bro. All these nations have had a part within the downfall of the Israelites. Okay? All of them. And yet to this very day, they still do. This is why we have Micah 2 and verse 10 to tell us to arise and depart. Because, being here in this place, seeking refuge from the white man, through the white man, Esau Edom, so-called white man, he ain't white, bro. That nigga pink and he red, and that nigga through, bro. He the devil that the Bible speaks of, bro. The physical counterpart of Shaitan, But the whole point is, man, him and then the rest of the heathens that are confederate against us, as Psalms tells us, they seek to hurt us, man, to make us a nation no more in remembrance. Okay, but the Lord's gonna do all they ask. Meanwhile, that's why you have war over there in the Middle East, because the Lord's gonna gather all those nations to judge they ass. Zephaniah 3 and 19, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth and gather her that was driven out. Okay, that her is talking about Israel, Jerusalem, in which Jerusalem is personified to be a calm and beautiful, delicate woman, to the Lord. Okay, this is how the Lord spiritually sees us as a nation as a whole, calm and delicate and beautiful, and really more so starting with the Lord's elect. And this is why the Lord is going to come back to save us, Lord willing, we be a part of that elect number. And it says, and I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. All right. So Zephaniah chapter 3. So like I had to restart it. My phone was acting up. So Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 19 from the top. It says, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. All right, and that's every land, man. Okay, in which motherfuckers in in Dubai, India, Timbuktu, Thailand, Ireland, in which, don't get me wrong, there's Jake scattered amongst these heathens everywhere, but to the extent where we've been put to shame, starting here Babylon the Great in America. The pit, man, where the prisoner, the captive hasteneth, that he may escape, so we won't be destroyed in his place, roughly paraphrasing it. But Babylon the Great, mainly, and then all around the world, through this devil's technology, through social media, these news channels, these podcasters, etc. Everything and everyone is against the creations that, well, really more so, they're against the people of the Lord, bro. All right, they all are. All right, and we've been put to shame everywhere, bro. To the point we've been put in museums. You have history books of us being enslaved to these fucking Edomites, man, and then the rest of these nations. And these talks still go on amongst them, in which they laugh and rejoice, and they make mockery of what happened to the Lord's people, in which the Lord ain't forget that, man. Galatians speaks about that. All right, verse 20. It says, at that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of Salakia, among all people of the earth. When I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith Yahweh. Exactly, man. Upon the Lord's return. All right, no more captivity for us, bro. All right, no more slavery, no more bondage, no more any of those things, man. Which, you know, Moses, he knew of these things. All right, he knew. All right, to rather suffer what we have to go through, because it's a light affliction compared to immortality and righteousness of being a God, and to be perfect, and to be named after Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Excuse me. And nothing can compare to that, man. Okay, nothing can compare to that. All right. So the things that we go through, truthfully, you know, it's to you know, it's better to rejoice within these things, man, because you know we have greatness is awaiting us, man. You know. So Lord wanted this lesson was edifying. And in closing, you know, just want to say, bro, we literally almost out this bitch, bro. Like all this, everything that's taking place and going on, just remember, bro, it's for your sake. It's for your deliverance, your salvation. Okay, it's for the Lord to do exactly what he does, man. Okay, bring judgment to pass, and that's what's going on. Psalms chapter 119. It is time for thee to work, O Yahweh, for they have made void, you know, thy law. And this is what the Lord is, you know, doing. Prophecy is continue to happen, you know, Lord willing. May the Lord continue to have mercy upon us, and the fear be upon us continually, and we watch, you know, as well as pray. So today's time I say, call law, Yahweh Bashim Ashai, Bashim Kakwadash, Shalom.